Cue camera 1, camera 2,
All right,
and
it's recording.
action.
All right, so just tell us a little bit about you, your name, how old you are, what you do, and how long you've been doing it.
My name is Jason Serta. I am a 33-year-old artist, singer, actor, performer, entertainer.
Okay. How long have you been doing this?
Going on 14 years now, about 14 years professionally. But dancing since I was a kid, singing since I was a kid as well.
So is this what you've wanted to do ever since you were little?
Yeah, I knew early on in my life that I wanted to like do something as far as singing and dancing. The first talent show I ever did, I was in 3rd grade. So I knew early on that like I liked performing in front of people and stuff. And I think when I got like the real big itch was when I got to high school, because I did a talent show there that was like a single elimination thing, and it was kind of like a bracket, and I got all the way to, and I won it 3 out of the 4 years I was in high school.
What were your performances?
So
Wait,
it
hold on.
was
What was your performance in 3rd grade in the talent
in
show?
3rd grade.
In 3rd grade.
Actually, I was just talking about this the other day because it was Selena's anniversary for her 25th anniversary.
Song?
I sang Tecno Cumbia by Selena. I didn't even sing, I danced actually. It was just like a dance.
Okay. I love Selena.
Yeah, that was my first talent show song ever.
And then in high school, the first one you did, did you sing the same every time you got?
No, you did a different song every night. So it was a bunch of songs that I did because it was a Wednesday to Thursday and Friday. So Wednesday you had to finish in the top 2 to move on to Thursday, and Thursday you had to finish in the top 2, and you had to keep going.
So Friday. Were you dancing in that talent show or singing?
I was. So here was the thing: it was a lip sync talent show. So it was more about the show and the performance and all that, how like kind of like Lip Sync Battle, the TV show that's on TV now, similar to that. So you had to like pretty much go all out with the props and all that. And every year I would like just go all out. So
you're very used to the performance aspect of it.
Yeah. And kind of, a lot of people don't know this about me personally, but I played a lot of sports in high school, and I was the captain of the football and the soccer team my freshman, sophomore, and junior year. And then my senior year, which is like your most important year of, your high school careers, I decided not to play because I got a scholarship to go dance at a studio. So I chose to do that. And, I had a lot of backlash from it. A lot of people were not happy because, I had a free education in college ready for me. I was going to get to play. And then I took a chance on myself and on dancing. And at the time, it was just dancing more than singing. And I wanted to be a choreographer at the time. So it was a really like big gamble I took. And it kind of like shifted where my life went, early on in my life. But I always knew I wanted to be a singer and like a performer. I always knew since I was, like I said, in 3rd grade.
So was there something or someone that inspired that in you? Is there someone in your family who's in music, or did this come from?
What? It was this weird thing that like started the itch for me as far as wanting to be a dancer. I was at my cousin's house it was the most random thing ever. I went to go visit my cousins on my dad's side of the family one day randomly, and I stayed at their house all day. They were kind of like babysitting me at the time. I was 5 years old. So they were babysitting me, and they put something on TV and somebody was doing the Running Man.
Okay, but the real Running Man, not the Running Man that came back into style.
Yeah, no, the real Running Man, the old school one. And that was the first move I ever learned. And after that, it's like this bug got in my system that it was like I was just addicted to dancing. So I just would dance every single place I went. And back then, not to sound old right now, not to put our age on blast to anybody, but
I'm older than you anyway.
There was no YouTube, there was no Facebook, there was no Twitter, there was no Instagram, no social network. So
you had to watch TV and record it, and
and I'd have to wait. We sometimes, there wasn't performances for weeks at a time, so like you would have to wait till there was a big show or something where somebody was performing on TV so you could see your favorite artist perform. And they didn't even perform at all the award shows.
Because this was before MTV too, right?
Yeah. This was like, I was 5 years old, so it was like 92.
Yeah.
So yeah, a long time ago. But anyway.
So was that your favorite dance move when you were younger? The Running Man?
The Running Man, yeah. that's my
Mine's the Roger.
that and the moonwalk. The moonwalk.
I like the Roger Rabbit. Can you
Michael
do the
Jackson.
moonwalk?
Yeah, Michael Jackson was my favorite. You
I
know.
think you're gonna have to show us the moonwalk before this is over.
Oh man, we'll see. I don't know if I could do it anymore.
Okay.
Oh man.
So
All right.
when you went to after high school, so you said you stopped playing sports and you started focusing on dancing.
Mm-hmm.
And then when you went to college, where did you go and what did you study? Did it have anything to do with performance?
So no, I actually have a degree in international affairs. So it's like I was a language major. I was a Spanish major. So I just pretty much I can translate any court documents for you professionally because I have a degree for that.
So would that be your backup?
It had nothing to do. Yeah. I mean, I've always been fascinated with like languages. I like learning other languages and stuff. So it's something I could always fall back on as a plan B, you know, if I ever needed something, which is always good. I always encourage everybody to go to school. I think it's very important to go to college. So, and a lot of artists now are doing that, are actually going back to school. Like,
Yeah.
You know, Lil Wayne went back to University of Houston and got his degree. A lot of people don't know that right now, actually, it's because it's not public knowledge, but I have friends in the inside that told me that Nick Cannon flies back every Tuesday for like the last, well, before everything that happened now with COVID, but he was flying back every Tuesday here to DC to go to Howard. He takes courses at Howard. He's about to get his degree, or I don't know if it's his doctorate or his master's. It's one of them. I think it's his master's at Howard, but he lives in LA. He lives in Los Angeles, flies physically to DC.
I mean, he doesn't play physically.
But that's dedication.
Yeah.
But that lets you know how important it is to him that he's paying a private jet to fly him back once a week to take a class and then fly back to LA.
Yeah, that's pretty good.
You know, that's pretty intense, and that's really good commitment. So I encourage everybody to finish school, no matter what they do.
So you didn't study music. So then how did you, I mean, I know when we met, but what was the path that led you from high school to where you are now? Like, walk us through that.
Man, I'm going to condense a lot of years into a really short time. So pretty much when I got to college, I did a competition that was to open for T.I. and T-Pain, and with the radio station called WPGC 95.5 here in Washington, D.C.
Everybody else sung, right?
So yes, it was a contest. You had T-Pain put a beat out with a hook, and then you had to write the verses to it. So I submitted it, and I ended up finishing in like the top 3 of it, and I got to open for T.I. and T-Pain. That's the really short version of it. A little longer version, just so you know how much work went into even getting that, was that you had to get nominated to be in the voting. So they had the top 5. You had to be nominated and finish in the top 5. We finished with 10,000 votes, like actual votes, because you had to go create an email every time. So it was like we had to reach out to everyone we knew. We had everyone voting, and then once you were nominated, they started at 0 again. And that second round, we got about 35,000 votes. So we had, it was a really big campaign that I was doing, and kind of like that showed you like the force of like, the support system that I had, and the fans and everything. So it was cool. So that kind of jump started me. I got to open for T.I. and T-Pain. And then I moved, let me retract a little. Before that, I lived in Nashville. So I lived in Nashville, and I lived in Nashville for a whole year. And a lot of people don't know Nashville is a very big country music, rock and roll, hip hop scene. So I lived there, and I was actually shooting a movie, but that was the first time I had ever recorded something where I heard myself back through a speaker, and I'd never done that before. And so I was like, wow, like this is amazing. The first time I ever recorded, I'm the only person that's ever heard it. I've never played it for anyone.
What is it?
I honestly, it's on a CD. It's hidden in my house somewhere.
But is it something you wrote, or was it a cover?
Yes, the first time I ever wrote and recorded, but it's
okay.
Absolutely, it's not good, for lack of, not good. And I told myself, I haven't heard it since I recorded it, and I said, hey, if I ever get signed to a record deal or win a Grammy, whichever comes first, I'll play it for somebody. So probably for Rana, but
For Rana, yeah.
yeah, that's about it. Or my mom. That might be the only two people on this planet that'll hear. So, anyways, that was a little side story. So I lived in Nashville. Got the itch for recording music then. Then I moved back to Virginia, and I went to college. And during that's when the whole TIT pain thing happened. And then that kind of just jump started me, put me on the map a little bit here in the DMV area. I started doing shows like crazy. There was one year, I think it was like 2008 or maybe 2009, where I did over like 100 shows, or like 100 and something shows.
You were performing in what kind of places?
Everywhere, anywhere that anybody would take me. Some of them I did for free, some I did paid because I just wanted to build my name. This is when I was trying to make a name for myself, so very early in my career. And so then I would perform anywhere, concert halls, venues. I could tell you that this much, that now I've pretty much performed in every major venue that's in the Washington, D.C. area, like the arenas and everything, at least once. So, that's not a lot of things that, independent artists can say that they've done. And so that kind of jump-started me, and it kind of led me in a 10-year career of R&B and like pop music, where I was doing music in English. And I, got to open up for a lot of big people. I did, shows with Pitbull, shows with Neo, I almost actually got signed by Neo. Did shows, I don't even know, TIT Pain, Neo.
You did Prince Royce, right?
Prince Royce, got to sing on stage with him at our arena here in DC. It was cool. So just got to do a lot of cool stuff like that. And it kind of put me in a place where it was like, okay, well, unfortunately in the music industry, money is a very important thing. And you gotta have it to be able to promote yourself. And so, in the Anglo market, you're competing, people that do what I do as far as singing and dancing, like Chris Brown, that kind of vibe is, there's a lot of artists in the English side. There's Bruno Mars, there's Justin Bieber, there's Justin Timberlake, there's a lot of artists that are Chris Brown, so you're competing, Jason Derulo, even, you're competing with a lot. There's all competing against each other, and they all have unlimited pockets. So when you're doing it independently, like I did, where you're, you have to work, and then you take some of your paycheck every month and you save it up and you invest it back into yourself to promote yourself. Then I kind of came to a crossroads where I was like, all right, well, let me try something in the Latin market. So I started doing songs in Spanish, and honestly, it was like the best decision I ever made. It was something my mom had been telling me to do for years. She was like, the day you do a song in Spanish, you're gonna be famous. And I was like, okay. And so, it took me a while to listen to her, but I did. And thankfully, we've had a lot of songs that were very successful. And independently, I've been on the Billboard charts 3 times. Twice in the top 20, once in the top 10. And, so it's pretty awesome to see your name next to like Maluma and like Daddy Yankee, on a chart. So it's pretty cool to see stuff like that. And then I've been to the Grammys. I've been to a lot of award shows, walked the red carpets. I've done a lot of things like that. So I've been very fortunate. Everybody thinks that being an artist, which I think is the biggest misconception that people don't understand, is from the other side, like the fans coming, looking the other way, is that they think it's all just bright lights and fancy cars and a lot of expensive dinners and
so talk about the work that goes into it.
Yeah, so it's not, it is all of those things but to get to that where you can like have that consistently, where you're on that mega level, it's a lot of hard work. And even the artists who are big, and most of them now that have had like a long road to where they are now. Most artists, nobody just woke up unless they were born into like a family that was already, semi-famous or something. So, there's a lot of things that go with it. I have to go to the gym on a daily basis. Not that not anybody else does, but that's like part of my job. I have to stay in shape. I have to train. I have to keep training because, especially in the dance world, stuff is ever evolving, and every day there's better singers, and there's you have to stay on top of your craft. So it's just
what is training for you? Do you do vocal training too?
Yeah, absolutely. I practice other people's songs. I do vocal exercises. I do a couple of things. It just depends. lately, because I've been so busy, pre-COVID, you know, it was more of it was a lot of like training as you go type thing. So, cause I was always in the studio recording music. So I was kind of training because I was recording, not because I was stopping to take classes or anything. And yeah, and then, so it's a lot of stuff like that. It's a lot of training. It's a lot of long hours, you know. A lot of what I do in my industry is at night. So I'm often going to sleep at 6 a.m, you know, and people are waking up to go to school or work. So, you know, it's a lot of like late nights. And then sometimes you have to wake up early the next day to do your regular day, you know, stuff. So it's not like you get to sleep in either. So, you know, it's a lot of practice, a lot of rehearsals. You know, the bigger the show, the bigger, you know, the cast, which means the more rehearsals you need to have, which means, you know, it's a lot more responsibility and there's a lot more at stake. You know, if your public image is very important, you know, what you portray yourself as, and, you know, it's hard, you know, to like, you have to stay relevant because something new is coming out every day. You have to, you're only as good as your last song, you know, so it's a lot of pressure for an artist. So we're always like, a lot of people don't know, like, you'll hear 20 songs, not even anymore, but like you'll hear 20 songs on an album, but in reality, that artist, whoever that artist is, recorded like 50 to 100 songs. And those were the best 20 that him and his team felt should be heard, you know, but 100 songs is 100 songs. You still had to go in there and record every single one of them.
So do you, I mean, I know the answer to these questions, but do you write your own songs? Do you write your own lyrics? How involved are you in the music producing part of it? Like, how much say do you get in your songs?
As of right now, I get 100% say in all my songs. I do write. Lately, I've been working with other songwriters, just to get other, you know, it's cool to get other people's perspectives and vibes and stuff, because people are from different places, so they have different lingo and they have different flows and things like that. So I do work with a lot of songwriters, but I have written one of my highest ranked song on Billboard I wrote. So all 3 of my songs on Billboard I actually wrote by myself. So I do both. As far as the production side, there's songs, it really depends at what point of the equation you come into the project. Sometimes, you know, I go into studios with producers and it's like, hey, let's make something from scratch. So there's songs that I've literally co-produced with other producers in the room, and we just like, oh, I like that sound, or I don't like that sound, and I kind of make it with them. There's other songs where the beat's already made and they're just playing me beats, you know? So, and it also depends once you record the songs. If you record the song and then you want to take stuff out or add more stuff, that goes into the equation as well.
So what would you say is your favorite gig, or like the most exciting part of your career so far?
Favorite gig? I have to say, okay, so I got to do this really, really, really cool show in Las Vegas. Mm-hmm. It was in 2018. I got to open up for J-Lo and Maluma and J Balvin and Bad Bunny, Ricky Martin, and Farruko. There's like about all Latin artists, but like major ones. Yeah. And Osuna, which was like really popular too. So I got to open up for them, and it was really cool because it was like a circular stage. So it was split in half. So if you were on one side, as soon as you finish it, rotated, and then the next person would come up. That's cool. It was just like back to back. So it was cool. Like, so behind me was like, I don't remember who came after me. I don't know if it was like I think it was Maluma or somebody. They came right after me. So he was on the other side of the stage getting ready while I was on the other side of the stage performing for 20,000 people. So it was pretty cool. It was cool.
So when you have these shows, how long do you usually have to rehearse before you have a show?
Sometimes, I'll give you a specific example, but sometimes you have time, you have weeks. Sometimes you have days. Sometimes you have hours. So it really depends. But I'll give you an example. The one in Las Vegas was like on a Thursday. And I got the call, like the confirmation for it, like on that Sunday before.
Okay.
So I had to find dancers in Vegas. Yeah, more or less. But I had to find dancers that were in Vegas. Mm-hmm. So I had to record choreography, send it to them, they learned it by themselves. But mind you, these people work as well in Vegas, so they're all dancers as well. So they're working days and nights too. So they had to like fit in pockets to learn. We had 2 songs. We were performing 2 songs, and so this is how it happened. I flew in Thursday morning. Wednesday night. I met with them Thursday morning. We went to a dance studio. I rehearsed with them for like 3 hours, 3 hours. We took a break, met them at the arena like 2 or 3 hours later, performed in front of 20,000 people.
Okay.
So that's how it happened.
So, like, do you get nervous before you go on stage?
Yeah, but you just have to trust, like at that point it becomes a trust thing that everyone's gonna, hold up their end of the deal, and just, I know that nobody obviously ever wants to look bad in front of 20,000 people, but at that point it's just about trusting. Yeah, I trust all my dancers that ever danced with me. I'm still friends with every single one of them, like I work with all of them, and and I'm really big in the dance community, so I have a lot of relationships that I just always reach out to, and I give them jobs when I can. I believe in hiring your friends so everybody can come up. So, I love them. At that point, it's just trust. It comes down to trust when you're going against time like that. But there's been other times where I've had like 6 weeks to train for a show. It was a little bit longer of a show. It was like a 15-minute set, but 6 weeks. So we went on there and it was like doing the Macarena where it was just automatic. Yeah. You know what I mean?
Basically, you got to practice it until you really know it, right?
So you can do it with your eyes closed.
Have you ever made a mistake, like forgotten a lyric or messed up a dance move? Or
Absolutely. 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 Cool. In my defense, when you're on stage, let me tell you all the things that I'm processing as an artist while I'm singing to you.
I can't even. Let's hear it.
So as far as my shows, this isn't for every artist out there. This is just my shows. I have to remember not only my cues of when I speak, or when I have to cue the band, or when I have to cue the dancers. I have to know where everybody else is too. So on average, I have about minimum 4 dancers with me on stage at one time. Okay. So I have a band, I have a drum player, I have a keyboard player, I have a DJ, plus 4 dancers, plus myself. So I have to remember it where there's transitions happening. There's cues things that aren't going to start unless I cue it, with my voice, or I say something that they're waiting for me to say. So there's been times where I forget to cue, or there's been times where we're going left and I go right. Or
how do you handle that?
Well, it's like a double-edged sword. I can get away with it to an extent because since I'm the artist.
Right. The audience doesn't know.
The audience doesn't know. I'm maybe just kind of freestyling doing my own thing. But there's other times where it's obvious, where it's like, for example, if there's like supposed to be a vocal cue and I don't say something and it's like awkward silence for longer than it needs to be. Or if like I'm doing a dance breakdown or something and I mess up the move and I'm the only one that messes up. Like, it's obvious in situations that I try not for that to not happen, obviously.
Yeah.
But it's happened. I mean, it happens to everybody. You can mix up lyrics sometimes, or you sing maybe, like, there's been songs where I've sang the second verse before I sang the first verse, or I flipped them. Like, it happens. But you just gotta,
go with it, you figure it out, you fix it, right?
Yeah, I just play it off. And then sometimes I just, make fun of myself if it's a really awkward one. I'm like, man, or I'll blame it on I'll be like, man, it's hot out here, wherever city I'm in. Like, it's hot out here in Chicago, man. You guys need to turn up the AC out here.
Meanwhile, it's snowing, right?
Yeah. I'll blame it on them. What else?
Are you feeling okay? We don't have that much more.
I'm good.
So, do you find it hard to sing and dance at the same time?
Yes.
Yeah.
The answer to that is absolutely capital yes, because it's something that I had to teach myself, like, over the years. It was like an experimental thing. I wasn't able to have anyone teach me. I pretty much taught myself. A lot of people don't know this. I had taught myself how to dance. I never took a dance lesson until I was 18 years old. I jumped, and I was teaching the class. I wasn't even taking it. So, and then vocally, I had to just kind of wait till people would sing on TV and just kind of record it and learn like that. So a lot of people joke. My joke that I tell everyone is Usher taught me how to sing, because all I used to listen to was Usher, and he taught me how to use my falsetto, and he taught me how to do some vocal runs and vocal controlling and things like that. So
have you ever worked with a vocal coach?
Yeah, of course. But that was later in my career. Like, I'm talking about for the first like 6 years of my career was all me.
So I wanna tell my kids something that they probably don't know, which is
Okay.
that a lot of performers who sing and dance at the same time, they're not really singing on stage, right?
Yeah, a lot of them that don't that dance a lot. I could tell you who does and who doesn't, but
That's
I
not
don't want to
really
blow it
important.
But
My
yeah,
point is, you're doing yours. You're actually doing.
I'm actually singing. Yeah, you're getting 100% live music every time I go on stage. There's a lot of artists there's some artists that'll do like both backing vocals, which means that they have like their chorus in the song. They'll sing like on top of it, so it just sounds bigger, fuller in the room. Or they'll have like, if they don't have background vocalists already, obviously. Some artists sing, they'll play literally this exact MP3. They'll play the MP3 and sing on top of that. So it just depends on who's who and what the show is. Because some shows don't even don't give you the option. Like, I've been on TV shows where they don't even give you the option to sing live. You have to do playback because they don't have the audio equipment to make you sound good.
Have you ever lost your voice before a show?
Oh my God, so many times.
And so what
times.
What do you do? These are all good questions, right?
Yeah, these are good questions. Very good question. No one's ever asked me that. That's a really good question. Let's see. I drink a lot of honey, drink a lot of tea. Actually, I'll give you a quick story. There's this show that I trained for, one of the biggest shows of my career. I was doing it with a TV channel called Univision. And they flew me out to LA with my whole band and everybody. And we were performing at a big festival with like J Balvin, Becky G, Kid Cudi, Ludacris, Nelly, a bunch of big people. And the day before, I'm training 6 weeks for this show, 6 weeks. And the night before, I lose my voice completely. Gone. Like, that's what I was talking. Like that.
Okay.
Gone. And I don't know what miracle. I was like on strict, like, no talking for those 24 hours. All I was literally doing was drinking tea. That's it. Tea, hot tea, and honey. And I don't know, I didn't literally speak until the guy handed me my mic and he was like, all right, you're about to go on. And right before that, all I said was, check, 1, 2. I didn't even know if I could sing, but but my voice sounded like better. It was like kind of what it sounded like now. And then I was like, all right, well, here goes. And I just went on stage, and the first time I heard myself sing was when I tried to sing.
And then after that, did you immediately lose your voice again?
Yeah, it was gone after the show.
That's how it works. Magically, I've had that happen too.
Yeah, it was gone after the show immediately.
Did you ever have to perform a song that you don't like? I mean, I know that's an odd question for songs. I know there are songs that
Yeah, for sure. I've done a couple of like auditions and stuff for certain things, and I personally love the song. I just don't like how I sound singing it.
Okay. Like,
I had to sing Sia Chandelier one time.
That's a good song.
And that's a tough song. And it's just made for a female vocal, in my opinion. So I just don't like how I sound on it. So I just didn't. I mean, I had to sing it, and I did it, and it was cool. But I personally wouldn't be my choice.
Do you have a favorite song? It could be one of yours or another artist's song. Like, you have a favorite song?
Yeah, my favorite song of all time. Well, kids, when you turn 18, you guys can listen to it. But it's a song by Usher. So we'll leave it there. But it's a song by Usher. And yeah, Usher's, like I told you, Usher taught me how to sing. And it was one of those things where it was one of his earlier songs. And like, I think that was, I could hear that song forever and never get sick of it. And every time they randomly play it on like the radio, I still get like super excited.
Tell me it later.
I got you.
What's the range of your voice? Like, how high can you hit and how low can you go?
Low, I can go pretty low because naturally my voice is kind of low.
Okay.
High, I can hit the, yeah, I can go really high. But that's, like I said, something I had to learn to do because
it can mess up your voice too if you don't know how to do it.
Say what?
It can mess up your
yeah
voice.
yeah. But like, you know, if you were like and you keep going, eventually my voice is going to crack if I don't go into my falsetto. So, you know, it's one of those things where you had to learn first how to use your falsetto and how to go from your chest voice to your, you know, falsetto, and then, or vice versa, how do you go from your head voice to your falsetto? There's different ways. And then also, like, how to control your falsetto, because it's its own little thing, for lack of a better, it's its own puzzle. So it's one of those things where, yeah, it took me years to get it good, and now I sing like this. But yeah, that's what it is.
So, do you play any instruments?
I don't, but I've tried. I semi-taught myself how to play drums. I'm decent. I'm okay. If I took lessons, I would definitely pick it up because I have like an ear for that kind of stuff. Piano, I tried to learn guitar. I just didn't have the time, honestly. You know, the guitar is one of those things you just have to have time to learn it.
Yeah.
So I just haven't. Yeah. You have to practice and build calluses on your fingers and all that, and I just don't have time.
So
but I want to.
We only have 3 questions left.
Let's get it.
Are you ready? So you already told us that Usher is one of your favorite artists, right? Mm-hmm. What kind of music do you listen to?
You're gonna think I'm gonna be really weird for saying this, but I listen to everything, honestly. I was a DJ for a little while, and so like I just love anything with a cool beat or a cool vocal. And also because I just like learning from other styles and stuff, maybe I incorporate some of it in mine. And I've been fortunate. I've gotten to travel to different parts of the world. So like I hear different sounds and things that are really cool there that I probably aren't even heard of here in the States yet, or I've never used in my songs personally. So I think I listen to everything. Like I can listen to like hip hop as much as I can listen to like, I will say this, I like stuff way more than I like other stuff. Like I'll listen to country, but it's not my go-to genre of music. But there's a few country songs that I do like, you know, but my go-to is like R&B, hip hop, pop, EDM, like Latin, obviously, you know, things like that. That's in everything.
And then, do you have any advice for anyone who'd want to be in the music industry?
Yeah, I would this is what I tell anyone. I think this applies to all age groups. But obviously, you know, if you hear it at a younger age, you'll think about it a little more. But I would tell kids that if it's not something you're passionate about, like you really have to love it. Because if you don't do it because you actually genuinely love it, it's a very tough industry to be in. It's a very cutthroat industry. You're going to hear no a lot more than you're going to hear yes. But when you do hear the yeses, they're like, you know, some of them are life-changing, and even the smallest yes feels so good. So, you know, just be passionate about it. If you're going to go on that journey, and that could be anything. If you're just going to be a musician, if you're going to be a vocalist, if you're going to be an artist, or if you're going to be anything in the music industry. Music industry is a lot of things. It's dancers, it's, you know, it's everything intertwines, you know, now. So, you know, you can even be on the executive side. Like you could be like a music executive or an A&R or stuff like that. You know, those people you have to love what you do, because it's hard to get in those positions. They're very, very seldom are they like empty. So when they are empty, they look for the people who really know their stuff. So you're going to have to be an intern at first, and you're going to have to work your way up the ranks. And same with the music industry. I had to start doing shows for free and just performing anywhere they would want to take me to build a name for myself, you know. And so like that, I had to be, if I wasn't passionate about it, a lot of people give up halfway through because, you know, they just, obviously the financial return is not there, but they're just tired of hearing no. So you can't ever get tired of hearing no. If anything, it should motivate you to get that yes. So yeah. That's my advice. Be passionate.
Do you want to say goodbye to the kids?
Peace out, y'all. It was a pleasure talking to all of you. Stay safe in these times. And if you guys have any questions, make sure you ask your teacher. She'll ask me again. I'll answer them for you anytime. And yeah, see y'all later.